You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. I probably have my coffee for the day. I probably have another cup before I leave here to go to Rufus' school before they have a pre-game meal, and usually I go over there and volunteer for the pre-game meal. I had a conversation yesterday in the dojo that I want to have again and share with some of you, so that mainly not only that you can apply it in your own life, but man, share with if you have children, share with your children, or share with children. I think that people don't understand that life provides an enormous amount of opportunities for repetition. And when you wake up in the morning, you have to decide if the reps for the day are going to be excellent or if they're not going to be excellent. And the reps of being excellent start with, did I get up in the morning in an excellent way? Was my attitude right? Did I brush my teeth in an excellent fashion? When I left the room, was my bed made up in an excellent fashion? Did I get dressed in an excellent way? When I walked out the house, was I excellent when I walked out the house? The way that I packed my bag, was it excellent? When I got to school, did I have excellent? Did I greet people with an excellent type of greeting when I saw them? Did I give them? And let me tell you something. I fail at this a lot. Why? Because I'm not 100% in my reps. I'm not 100% during the day. But I make an effort to be excellent. The one thing that I really, really appreciated when I went to Howard University is, man, they hammered home black excellence. And I know there's some people who are listening like, oh, man, isn't excellent just excellent? Well, you talking about black excellence? It doesn't have, why does everything have to be about race? And okay. Let me explain. Howard University is a historically black college. It's an HBCU. And when you're at an HBCU, you don't just learn the HBCU excellence. You learn HBCU excellence, but you also learn the Howard University way. You learn Howard excellence. And then you learn, as a person of the African diaspora, a person who is of the darker hue, who's from the dark continent, you learn black excellence. And black excellence it's not just how you govern yourself, it's how you govern yourself because of obligation and because of duty. You have a duty to govern yourself a certain way. It is incumbent upon you, as somebody who has walked the hallowed grounds of an HBCU, more specifically Howard University, to understand that you are not only excellent, but you're here to promote black excellence so that it propagates and permeates the fabric of all layers of society. And from the walking into the classroom, to the way that you handle your homework assignments, to your penmanship, to putting things in a certain place when somebody asks you to put them there, to being on time, and understanding that early is on time and on time is late. Like the things that you learn, as my friend Inga Willis said, she said, you learn the art of get it doneness. And a lot of kids don't learn the art of get it doneness. They learn how to halfway do things to the point where they're just skimming by. Like I asked my students last night, I said, when you did the drill, did you do the drill to the best of your ability? And they was like, no. I said, then why did you do it? Because if you didn't do it to the best of your ability, then you actually practiced doing it in an average way. And you have more reps at being average than you do at being excellent. And I walked around the classroom and I asked somebody, I said, did you get up and did you work out this morning? No. I said, why not? I don't know. I said, it's because you're average. I said, this is what average people do. Average people do. I said, and here's the thing. This is not K through 12 inside the dojo. Nobody usually talks to you like this, but I'm here to tell you, you're average. And I walked around, I talked to my daughter and some other people in my coaching program. They worked out in the morning, they worked out in the evening, they come to the judo practice. Why? Because they don't want to be average, they want to be excellent. And when you want to be excellent, you'll do things so that you excel. I even got to the point, I said, let me tell you something. You can talk about body positivity as much as you want. I was talking to all the men and the women in my class. The bottom line is this. Your body looks like the work that you do or the work that you didn't do. And it's not about exercise, because there's a lot of forms of work. The question is, when I go grab Krispy Kreme donuts or Haagen-Dazs ice cream, the question is what I'm doing right now, is it excellent? Is it excellent? According to what I need in terms of my physiology, in terms of my cardiovascular system, in terms of my glucose levels, in terms of my brain and my thinking and my clarity and my mental fog or lack thereof, in terms of the amount of energy that I have on my body already stored, do I need to go grab that? Is this a rep in excellence? And if the answer is no, then you are by default doing an average rep or below average rep, and you just have more reps at being below average, which is why you look the way that you do. And I told my class that those are the facts. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything for you. I understand that it's difficult, right? And this is why it's average, because most people don't want to do the difficult stuff. Therefore, it is average. It's average. It's average stuff. Everybody's not the same, nor should they be. As I told my son, I said, Rufus, I said, at the bottom of the pyramid, there's a lot more area at the bottom than there is at the top. All the people are at the bottom. As you start going up, the area decreases. So by default, everybody can't go. Some people are going to be left behind. And as you get to the pinnacle, there's only space for a few. So whenever you look around and you see everybody doing the thing, that ain't it, my man. Separate yourselves. Separate yourselves from them. Learn how to be what the Bible calls peculiar. Different. Man, you go to school. If you're in high school, I want you to listen to me. If you're in high school, all right? You're in high school. And you get up and you go to school in the morning. How many people in that school woke up and worked out in the morning before they got to school? And then think about how many people work out after school. Now, many more people work out after school. Not a lot of people work out before school. But those people who work out before school and work out after school, they're trying to be excellent. If you wrestle in the Midwest, California, all right, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and you think you're just going to go to wrestling practice at 3:30 after school and win anything, you are fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. If you think that you're going to be this world-class physicist or chemist or doctor or artist without doing the extra work in the mornings and at night and on the weekends, man, you're fooling yourself. You're going to be average at best. Here's what I told my students last night. I said, when your parents ask you to wash the dishes at an excellent level. When I ask you to load the dishwasher at an excellent level. When I ask you to put the garbage out at an excellent level. I said, how do I put the garbage out at an excellent level? I said, here's how you put the garbage out at an excellent level. You get excited about putting the garbage out, and you frame your mindset and your attitude at an excellent level, what you say internally is, I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to live in a place where somebody will come by and pick up the garbage and take the garbage out. And that we have trash bags to put the garbage in, to put it in the garbage bin so that I can wheel it to the end of the driveway outside. Or there's a garbage bin at the bottom of the stairs that I can put the garbage in. I'm glad to live in a place where I have the opportunity to do that, because everybody doesn't have that opportunity. But if you frame your mind in the frame or the realm of excellence, then you can do it in an excellent way. How? Because of the thinking. I want you to go with me here. I'm having a mild coffee with Rhadi with good quality language, because I want you to pass this on to the people that need it. The reason why you have to say to yourself and frame your mind in doing things at an excellent level is because the transformation comes from the thinking, from the renewing of your mind. The good book says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to change the mind has to change about how you do things. I'm getting ready to go into work. Instead of saying, I don't like my job, I don't like Mondays, fix your mouth, fix yourself. Listen, there are people who wish that they could talk to somebody on Monday, but that person's not here anymore. There's somebody who wishes they can walk into work who cannot walk into work. They would love to walk into work. There are people who don't have what you have. There's people, you are complaining because your parents asked you to sweep the floor. You have a floor that can be swept. Some of you walking around on tile and wooden floors that can be swept. And you have it. Listen to me very carefully, because I come from the generation. Where you got a manila folder as a dustpan, or you wet the edges of a piece of paper to use as a dustpan. You need to be thankful. Say, thank God that I have a dustpan. I have a dustpan and a broom, and I'm going to sweep this floor in an excellent fashion. I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm going to make sure that I get because I have a place to stay. There's air conditioning blowing. I thank God. I have an attitude of gratitude. I thank God for everything that's available. I can open up the windows, and man, I can let some light in. The little things that you have in life, it's not just about having an attitude of gratitude, but if I don an attitude of gratitude, that's excellent behavior, and I need to practice the reps of being excellent because I don't have enough reps of being excellent. Here's what happens. When I ask my students in the dojo to do something that is difficult for them, they either position it in their mind as being negative or being positive, and then that positioning of the thing then makes the workload either easier or harder, because the workload in and of itself is already difficult, but when you add the negativity to it, you make something that was already hard more difficult than it needs to be because of the way that you thought about it. So now, because you haven't practiced an attitudinal rep in an excellent fashion, now the repetition of the exercise can no longer be, it can't be excellent. It will be good, or will be good enough, but what you brought to it has stopped it from being excellent, so it will no longer be excellent. Good is the enemy of great. I have no problem with good. Some people give you good, and you're like, good is good enough. But if there's a more excellent way to do the thing, then find the more excellent way. Parents, have your kids practice excellence across the board. I had a conversation with my son the other day. I love my son. I love my son to life, all right? You cannot be in the bed, and some of y'all have You got high school kids, and they're in the bed and they fall asleep with the cell phone in their hand. They don't fall asleep. You go in there, the cell phone in the hand, or the cell phone done dropped on the floor. I told my son this. I said, there's no way for you to run your life in an excellent fashion when the phone or those people on the other end of the phone are running your life. I said, you have to have the level of discipline to text or say, good night, I'm going to sleep, in order to maximize your recovery so that you can be excellent in the classroom and excellent in the environment of play. Because if you're an athlete, recovery is your number one workout. And if you're a student athlete, you need to be mentally sharp in the classroom so you can therefore be mentally sharp in the environment of play. But if you're on the phone 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, falling asleep with the phone in your hand, TikToking, Instagramming your life away, that's not excellent. Now, I'm not taking his phone. I'm not telling him what he could do. I'm not telling him what he can't do. That's not my deal. What I told him is this. Everybody feels the money that's taken out of your account. Nobody feels the money that never goes in there. And unfortunately, all of our behaviors, mine too, stop money from coming into the account, and I don't feel them because the money's not being taken out. And I had a situation this week where I didn't govern myself I was having a conversation, and the conversation I was having, which happens to me sometimes, because Lord knows, if you know me, for the people who know me, sometimes I have a tendency to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it, and God is working on me. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I got some other stuff going on in my life. I do things, sometimes I do things at 100% and full speed, and they're not necessarily excellent. Y'all pray for me, okay? I just sometimes have to massage those things in the right direction. Even at the age of 47, I still make these errors and these mistakes. And when I didn't do this thing in an excellent fashion, I said, let me go back and at least let me go back and apologize in an excellent fashion. I can do that. Let me receive the rebuke in an excellent fashion, because I received some rebuke that I didn't like, but let me receive it in an excellent fashion. Let me digest it in an excellent fashion. Let me cook up this crow, put it with some rice and some beans, a little sauce on it. Let me eat this crow in an excellent fashion, and then let me apologize in an excellent fashion. And then let me sit down and let me ruminate on it a bit. And let me allow it to imprint itself in my person, so that I don't make the same mistake again, so I can live in a more excellent way. None of us are perfect. As adults, we're not perfect. Kids aren't perfect. Nobody's perfect. Bringing up somebody's imperfections when they're trying to help you be perfect is foolishness. Somebody's trying to help you, say, yeah, man, but what about that time what are you saying that for? Are you saying that because you don't want to make the adjustment, or are you saying that to embarrass me? Are you saying that because you want an excuse to not do better? Leave those things alone. If somebody's giving you sometimes it's rebuke, sometimes it's correction. Nobody likes correction. I don't like correction. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants the ticket for speeding. Nobody wants the ticket. Nobody likes it. It does correct your behavior when you drive in that area again, but nobody likes it. The correction is there to help you so that you can do things in a more excellent way. Speed limit says 65, you doing 80. Yeah, you might get away with 80, but is 80 the right way? No, it's not. We're choosing not to do it the right way. Understand that you're making that particular choice. And it's not an excellent choice, but that's the one that you're making at the time. You could leave the house a little bit earlier, use leaving earlier as a rep in excellence, and then use driving the speed limit as a rep in excellence for that day, and then become more excellent, because now I have more excellent reps. I'm not telling you you're going to drive the speed limit all the time, but sometimes you got to be like, you know what? This week I'm going to drive the speed limit. I'm going to leave early. I'm going to drive. Why? Because I'm going to do everything excellent. I'm going to lock in. This week I'm going to lock in. I'm going to lock in on my eating. I'm going to lock in on my driving. I'm going to lock in on my praying. I'm going to lock in on my meditating. I'm going to lock in on my cleaning. When I use the dish, I'm going to wash the dish and I'm going to put the dish away. I'm telling you right now, man, I had to do that this week. It was the most irritating thing because I like to eat and just drop the thing. Listen, use the dish, wash the dish, put the dish away. Why? Because that's an excellent way. Didn't like it. But it's an extra rep at being excellent. I used it, wash it, put it away. As parents, how nice would it be if your children, as soon as they used it, washed it, put it away. Now the house runs it in a more excellent fashion, in a more excellent way. All I'm telling you is, and I know I've hammered this point home, but I'm hammering it home for a reason, because I want you to be able to pass this on to your kids, and I want them to listen to it. I want them to spend the time to listen to it, because if there's a more excellent way to do a thing, then do it in a more excellent way. As a matter of fact, let me say this, and as I close. You know what? You know when the preacher say he gonna close, that means he got about 10 more minutes. As I close, there's a brother here listening by the name of Jules. Jules and I had a great discussion this summer. Jules followed what the Bible said. Jules had a problem with me. Jules pulled me to the side, as the Bible says. You got a problem with somebody, pull the person to the side. He pulled me to the side. He said, hey man, A, B, C, D, and E. And I said, okay. I said, X, Y, and Z. And that's that. And I don't want to hear nothing else about it. And we looked at each other, we shook hands. And let me tell you something. I was 100% wrong. Because when he said A, B, C, D, and E, I should have said F, G, H, I, J, K. But I didn't do that. I said, no. X, Y, Z. That's it. It's over with. And he was cool. And we parted ways. And then next time we got on the phone, we probably got on the phone maybe about a month and a half, maybe about 6-7 weeks later. And I said, hey man, I want to let you know something. When I said X, Y, Z, I was wrong. The way I was wrong about saying X, Y, Z, and I was wrong about the way that I said X, Y, Z. And I was wrong. Because the question is, when I got back to it, Rhadi, was there a more excellent way to handle that? The man pulled you to the side. The man talked to you respectfully. The man did what the Bible says. The man, and then you dug your heels in, and I mean, I put on my ego coat and my ego pants, and I tied my ego belt on hard, and I put my ego hat on, and I turned my ego hat to the side, and I got a good little ego pip going, and I just let all the ego out. And all I could hear is my Aunt Ethel talking to me. She said, son, ego means easing God out. I said, Jesus. And that's what I did. I just eased God out the conversation and discussion. And when I did that, it wasn't excellent. What I'm telling you is, as I close, is that sometimes when you want to make your life a little bit easier, you end up easing God out of the process. And your job is to endure hardness as a good soldier in Christ Jesus. So the enduring the hardness as a good soldier is your responsibility, your duty, and your obligation. As you go forth today, man, do things in a more excellent way. This is Dr. Ferguson. I love you, but God loves you best.
You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.